Hi, Beastie Besties. Welcome back to my channel. If you're just joining me for the first time, hi, my name is Angelfish, pronouns they, them, and today it is finally time for another installment of Checking In with Monster High. Yay! I haven't done one of these in a hot minute, and we have a lot of things to cover. Last time I talked about Monster High in a comprehensive video form like this, the most recent developments were we got stock picks for Buried Secret Series 3, and a bunch of new stuff was on the horizons, and Scary Sweet Birthday had seen its official Amazon release. But since then, we've got a lot more things to talk about and see, so let's get into it. Of course, if you're new to my channel, this is a video series where I periodically check in, so to speak, with Monster High as a brand and do a recap of sorts to the best of my abilities as someone who is autistic and has my hyperfixation be Monster High specifically. Or I suppose it's a special interest. It's not a hyperfixation anymore now, huh? It's spanned a decade. Okay. Moving on. The gist of this series is I periodically go over things that are happening with Monster High as a brand, not just the dolls, because if you've been around my channel for at least the past year, you know that I've also been keeping track of the comics for you guys. And World Scare came out at the end of July with its first issue. This is the sequel series run to New Scaremaster. It follows Frankie and also kind of Laguna and Ghoulia in this first issue. It is a double-length issue. It is currently out at all comic book stores and places where comics are carried. Now, my little 2 cents on this, I always like to do like a little brief summary of the comics for you guys. Also, peep the recharge chamber. Goodness gracious. Recharge chamber reference. Almost a fake fan right there. Oh my god. But yeah, no, this issue basically follows Frankie trying to come up with a new invention, while Laguna is laying the groundworks to protest the World Scare. We are seeing Laguna's activist streak come back, which has been missing from most portrayals of G1 Laguna since around 2013, I want to say. I think that's when they started to, like, dumb down her character and really push her to the side. So, she's back. She actually gets to do things in this comic. It's quite nice. And, of course, it is a direct sequel to New Scaremaster. I believe it is the following semester of school. Headmaster Frankenstein, spoiler alerts if you haven't read the end of New Scaremaster, is dead, apparently. All of the ghouls are just losing their parents in this series. I can't say that I agree with that creative decision. As a fan of Monster High, I get that we want the comics to appeal to the older fan base that grew up with them, and we want to lean into some darker and edgier themes and topics. However, if I had $1 for every time Monster High World Scare has implied or given us, like, if I had $1 for every time the current canon of G1 has given us patricide, I'd have $2, which isn't a lot, but I'm starting to worry that it might become a trend because, well, we got an image of, like, an upcoming cover with Hezekiah, and I don't know if he's dead or not. He was fine in the last comic that he appeared in, which was, I believe, the second to last, if not the last issue of New Scaremaster. And part of me is hoping that he did not die off screen, but I would not put it past the writers at this point because they love a little bit of angst, and I guess patricide for the ghouls is just gonna be the new normal. Claudine's dad is alive, but he's divorced now. Laguna's just barely becoming a character in this story, so that remains to be seen, but oh my god. Parental death in Monster High. That's actually permanent. Like, they could have fixed Frankenstein, but they didn't. Moving on. Now, I brought her out at the beginning of the video, even though I have not gotten any of the other ones from this current re-release. This is the same Real Drama Laguna that I have had since 2022, but she is here because, at the time I'm recording this, Real Drama just restocked and Cleo came out. They are popping up at select Walmarts currently and coming in and out of stock on Amazon. I believe they're completely sold out on Mattel Creations. I was not able to get any of them this go around. Of course, I did not try. It's just I did not have the time to do so. It was Real Drama and the first wave of Creep Rose seem to want to have the habit where it's like, if it's a version of the original Five Ghouls, I'm just always destined to miss out on them somehow, some way, either through inopportune release window or lack of funds. Either way, I did not get them. I was hoping to at least snag Cleo, but she sold out before I could get her on Mattel Creations. I did actually kind of set an alarm for her. It didn't work out as planned. I slept through it, so. But they are out in the world now, and it is nice to see more people are actually able to get them this time around. Because if you remember when Real Drama first dropped in 2022, that was not the case. It was kind of disastrous, unfortunately. But I am happy to see that the line is back and out there in the world. It does seem like they all have the same arm tooling from the 2022 batch, though, which is kind of sad because they didn't start fixing that until recently. Now, speaking of other character-focused things from Monster High's original students, Skelita is here because this year's holiday doll of her, the Aztec-themed Skelita Calaveras, is releasing, at the time I'm recording this, tomorrow on Mattel Creations for fan club members. I'm not going to try and get her just because I have a bunch of other stuff to take care of at the moment, and it's just inopportune timing, but I would love to get her later down the line. I love Skelita. I am greatly looking forward to her G3 doll as well, but hopefully everybody who wants that new holiday doll are able to get her. So, there's that. In the realm of Skelectors, the Corpse Bride 20th Anniversary Emily doll came out a couple weeks ago and sold out almost instantly. She was a popular release, and I love her. Do I have my critiques? Yes, I do. But I've already said them in her unboxing, which you can watch on the channel now. It has been out for a little bit already. I love her dearly. I do have my qualms with her dress, but overall, I'd say this release went pretty smoothly. Minus one tiny detail, which was the fact that, for some reason, Mattel Creations drops have shifted to midnight Pacific time for Monster High, which is weird. We haven't had midnight releases since the first time Real Drama dropped in 2022, and the reason we haven't had midnight drops since then is because they are the most inconvenient for literally everybody. And I mean that, like, not even hyperbole, not anecdotal, because I'm a night owl. I stay up regardless, but I feel for my mutuals and friends who, in their time zones, stayed up until 3 in the morning only to have her sell out on them. So, my open letter to Mattel, even though I know they're not watching, listen. It's a doll, not an album. This ain't the 90s. This ain't even the early 2000s. It does not need to be a midnight release. You have gotten us used to 9 a.m. Pacific time drops over the past 3 years. I think it is deeply inconsiderate and rude to switch it to midnight. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Please never pull that shit again. Moving on. Now, Miss Wednesday Addams is here because the Wednesday Netflix collection is getting 2 new editions later this year, and Bianca Barclay, the Siren student from the series, who I love dearly and am very excited for, has already been found by some folks, I believe in Canada, because she was the $60 price point, and that just makes sense in my head as to where that was found. I only saw the pictures and the price tag on it and never saw any of the context behind it. But bottom line, she has been found, and she looks great. Minus the skirt. I will try to get Bianca when she eventually makes her way to the US because I love Bianca. She is my favorite character from the show. You all know I love an aquatic girly. I do have my gripes with her as a doll. I just will largely refrain from voicing those until I have her in hand. But first impressions wise, Bianca's face sculpt and screening, gorgeous. Those earrings, perfection. The shoes, so I know what the heels are. I like the tree. The mermaid tail heel is a choice. Is the sculpting on it beautiful? Yes. Is it kind of giving me Shell Mermaid from Ever After High, but in a bad way? Also, yes. I think maybe the tail should have been iridescent black instead of blue, but that's just my opinion. And I will save the rest of mine for when she is actually available in hand, because I am really excited for Bianca. Again, the skirt can do without. It's bad. But it's the same as this, but in purple, which we all know this is not my favorite material. And then Morticia is the second one that we're supposed to be getting. Now, nobody has seen Morticia at the time I'm recording this. If she leaks, like, after this goes up, I will be so mad, because I have nothing to go off of. But if her previous Collector from the animated series is anything to go off of, then surely Morticia will probably be the best addition to this collection, like, clothing and face and hair, like, complete package-wise. I have a feeling it's going to be very hard to fuck up Morticia Addams. I mean, she is just quintessential Monster High doll bait. I mean, she translated so well for the animated doll, so I can't imagine them going particularly wrong. God, watch them make me eat my words, and then she ends up being, like, the worst doll in the collection. Please, no. But I am excited for them. Hopefully they'll be out soon. They're slated for a fall release, so that's anywhere between now and December, because dolls operate off of a biannual release calendar. They have a spring release system, and then they have a fall release system, and that's really most toys, but the release calendar, the fall is usually the heavier one, which is why we see a bunch of stuff coming out now. Moving on to Generation 3, Gardening Club Venus from the Fear Book line, as well as Art Class Abby from the Fear Book line, which is Target exclusive here in the US. I do not believe it is a store exclusive elsewhere, like abroad. And they've technically been out abroad for months, so I am timely in the sense of they're out now in the US and I can talk about them because I have Venus. I love her. I got her for my birthday. She is precious. She is a darling. Like, look at, like, this lip. This is my favorite lip that they have ever given Venus. Ever. In the history of ever. And this hair. Can we get some on Claudine in this texture too? Because Mattel, you kind of just proved that you can order this texture in any color of saran that you want, and are just actively choosing not to. So my one request, can we get this on Claudine soon, please, for like a deluxe line? Because this is gorgeous. The way that this lays on Venus's hair, it's so nice. The way the hair lays on Venus's head. Ay, que la chingada. But yeah, Fear Book Wave 2 is fully out at Target stores in the US. She's been out abroad. I believe Australia got her first a couple months ago, which y'all already know on this channel. What do we say? We love it when international fans get things before me, because that gives me a frame of reference to whether or not it's FOMO or whether or not I actually want the doll. And spoiler alert, Venus is definitely worth getting. I love her to bits. A lot of people, when she first leaked, were like, this outfit is so simple. Listen, there is an elegance to simplicity. This is fun, this is cute, this is retro, kind of. Like, it's a very vintage styling. Is the print, like, the most haute couture thing on the planet? No, but it doesn't need to be. She's going to gardening club, not a runway. Like, This is the Venus doll for me from G3. Like, she easily overthrew her signature doll, which I already had high praises for. If you watch my ranking video, you know that Venus made the top 5. And her Garden Mysteries doll, while having the worst hair, because it was straight poly, was pretty good outfit and face-wise. But this, face, outfit, hair, love her. And her accessory kit is gorgeous. I don't have it next to me right now. It's on her display where I have her normally standing. She comes with a little, like, flower pot and some plants to plant, which I think is adorable. But, like, her accessory kit, she's worth her price tag in every sense of the word. Which, for modern Mattel, you know that's high praise, especially coming from me. Also, check out her shoes. Her shoes are so cute. Oh my god, my ring light. I am so sorry. My ring light is, like, making it so hard to focus on them. They're so glossy in person, by the way. That's the other reason my camera's having trouble focusing on them, is they are very, very shiny. But, like, they've got, like, teeth, like her original G1 boots, and then the little fly trap on the soles. They're so precious. I love her. Ah. Now, Scary Sweet Birthday is back again in this video series for the second time because it is mostly fully out in the stores. Claudine is the only member not currently available on physical shelves, but she is online. So, I can finally say Scary Sweet Birthday has officially launched. And we also got a webisode to accompany it. Or rather, we're starting a little mini-series. I guess it's like a set of special webisodes that we're getting on the YouTube channel, which are animated in the usual music video style that G3 uses. Part of me was hoping that they would do stop motion, but Mattel doesn't love us that much. I mean, like, will they give us stop motion for a 60-second TikTok? Absolutely. Do they love us enough to give us a full stop motion special with dolls? No. No, they do not. This is Mattel, not a miracle worker. But regardless, it's nice to see G3 having some webisodes because we haven't had any meaningful content from G3 in terms of the animated, like, characters since the Nickelodeon show died. Like, the music videos have been around for a while, sure, but they don't really let us see the ghouls interact all that much in terms of, like, character dynamics and stuff. But the first webisode, which is only 4 minutes, was really cute. We got to see Cupid, hear her voice finally. We haven't seen these looks animated yet. We did see a teaser image with them, like, their models fully unveiled. They look fine. Like most of the music video models, they look better in motion than they do in stills. But my one critique is, maybe I'm spoiled. Or maybe it's the fact that Mattel used to put a little bit more effort into their animated content back when I was a kid, and I think it's maybe a disservice to Gen Alpha that we're not at least giving the team a little bit more budget to properly render the hair so it's at least like the original Monster High 3D animated stuff, because it looks like it's made out of bubblegum in the music videos, and that's a critique that I've had for a while. I don't talk about it much, but that is a critique that I've had for a while. And I feel like if we're getting animated content that's like actual longer form than just a 2-minute song, and we're going to be looking at these dolls animated as characters interacting with the world, I feel like we should maybe scrape a little bit more budget into making it look a little bit more polished. It's not the worst animation on the platform. It's just, this is YouTube and we're in a space where animation made by someone in their basement looks cleaner than this. That's really mean, I'm so sorry, but, like, I shouldn't say cleaner. Looks more finished. This looks fine. Serviceable, even. But I also don't think it's too much to ask that Mattel puts a little bit more budget. I mean, their CEO makes so much money. Buddy, please, put a little bit of that into content. I know that you have said in multiple press releases that you do not particularly enjoy making animated content for your franchises, which is why we haven't gotten animated movies for any of the franchises since the 2010s when he took over. But I think it's time that we do that because, come on. At a certain point, it starts to become a little bit of a joke. Nephra Denial is the newest signature student in the new students / core lineup. She is absolutely phenomenal. I love her to bits. I also got her for my birthday at the end of July when she rolled out. She is fabulous. I think she is my favorite G3 signature doll to date. I mean, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen my ranking of the signature dolls, like, full lineup, which is, I think, 2 or 3 videos before this, she took the number 1 spot, and deservedly so. I mean, Nephra she has this gorgeous face screening, and her color palette is very, very fun. It's sort of a, like, playful mixture between G3's, like, gradients and neons with just, again, this is gonna sound so stupid, but the black accents, it makes this work so well in a way that the G3 animated show didn't quite make work. Now, the animated version of Nephra from the Nickelodeon show wasn't bad. It was, in fact, a pretty good first look at her, and I love that she was brought back in the first place, but having her here in doll form, yeah, it'd be crazy to not call this an upgrade. Like, my only gripe with this doll is that her hands are, like, really rubbery. For some reason, they're made out of, like, the belt material, which will shrink if you accidentally boil it, so take her hands off if you boil wash her, otherwise you might run into problems. But she is another character that is well worth the purchase. I greatly enjoy her, I highly recommend her, and I hope she does well this holiday season so that we can see more of her, because she is stunning. If you've made it to the end of the video, it is now time to talk about Buried Secrets, and Draculaura is here from Series 2 to help prop up Series 3, because, this is a first on the channel. I have finally decided to actually cover these things. Now, if you know my thoughts on Buried Secrets, you know that I'm not a hater of them. I am a little skeptical. I think budget dolls are important, but I do think that there are instances where, you know, there are some things that can be handled better. For instance, I hate the blind box format, but I also realize this is a common trend in the toy industry that's not going to go away anytime soon, especially because the current generation of kids that are interested in toys have grown up on unboxing content. And here I am, even though I'm not a children's channel, kind of fueling that. Now, Series 3 retails for the $17 price point at Walmart that Buried Secrets has been trending at since the tariffs. Originally, they retailed at, I think, around $14, but they are now like $3 more before tax. Like, before state sales tax, they are $3 more. And that will impact people come the holiday season. I honestly, if we were not in this current administration, I would probably have different opinions on Buried Secrets. I would probably say that these are great stocking stuffers, but that remains to be seen. For the price, I gotta be realistic, especially since this series allegedly has no way to tell who you're getting before you buy them. Like the other two had hints up here on this panel, this series does not have them from what I have seen. So, you know, it really is truly a blind box now. Now, allegedly, according to Draculija, you can see who you're getting based on the color of the packaging on the inside tab here, and this is pink. So allegedly, this is Laguna. So let's find out who is actually in here. Alright, as you can see, yes, this symbol down here does mean it is Laguna. So I guessed correctly based off of the side panel of the packaging. So thank you, Draculija, for making that apparent in his review on Buried Secrets. Otherwise, I would not have known to look for that and probably would have walked away from the store with Cleo, who I despise from this line. Now, let's see. Oh goodness, Laguna, you are looking downwards. Oh my god. Her eye spacing is so far apart on this doll. It is crazy. Let's get her out of here. Alright, now, good news is, she's really easy to get out of here. Only two things keeping her in. And also, look, it's Ghoulia. She's not benched anymore. She's coming in the next Buried Secrets series after this, which is interesting. And then we have Gil, who sadly is not getting a doll, but should. I know that nobody buys boy dolls, Mattel, but you have your own website. Stick him in a 2-pack on Mattel Creations and call it a day. There's no excuse. Sorry, that's mean, but there really is no excuse. Alright, now, if you're new to my channel, unboxings usually have the accessory rundown. Because this is Buried Secrets, there's not a whole lot. She has this little purse, or I suppose duffel bag. It's very cute, ruffles, no painted details, because this is the cheapest budget line that G3 offers. We have this cute little water bottle made in sparkly pink plastic. It is hollow. We have this little comb, which is meant to go in her hair like a crown. It's got a skelet on it, or, nope, that's a pearl, never mind. It's got a pearl on it, shells, and coral. Very, very cute. Love to see it. The mask, which is beautiful. It does have UV printing on it. Seems mine is on there pretty good. I've heard some people say that theirs came peeling, which is a concern to look out for. Especially because these are blind boxes, so you have no way of inspecting the quality beforehand. Actually, look. Yep. There's a little bit of peeling there. Of course, I did that little chunk with my nails, but I will have to spray that, actually. And then, of course, she comes... Her shoes are considered an accessory. These are... Not the best Laguna shoes that we've gotten, but not the worst. They're definitely some of the better sculpts from this line. And speaking of sculpts, Laguna's second ever budget sculpt, and this one is budget body, with chunkier arm fins, no sparkles in her body at all. Usually Laguna has a subtle shimmer to her skin that is completely absent from her arms. It's not absent from her hands. Her hands have the usual shimmer. It's kind of weird to see the difference here. Like, shiny, no shiny. Her head is shiny. It's got the usual shimmer in it. But, oh my god, what happened to her, like, casting there? Ew. But, yeah, her arms are completely matte, like bubble gum. And then she's got, you know, completely transparent blue legs. And fish scales on her legs, which she's never had on any G3 release prior. She was supposed to have them on her prototype that's used in the Coffin Bean, but for some reason we couldn't get them on her regular doll. This is a cute detail, although as a collector it does kind of frustrate me because she should have had these on her regular dolls to begin with. This is a cute detail. The fact that we don't have these on any of her other fully articulated dolls does bother me, because it is so different. Like, I get you don't want her completely blue legs to just be tubes of clear plastic with a fin sticking out of it. I get why they did it. I just wish that they would revise her leg sculpt for the fully articulated dolls to have the scales, because clearly we have the STL file to add them on. I don't know if it's a different in budgeting thing, if you can't have scales and fins on fully articulated dolls, but there has to be some way. Come on, Mattel, please. Her face screening seems to be very wide set apart on Buried Secrets consistently from what I have seen. Like, this is cute, but her eyes are, like, spaced out. She is a little bit of a space cadet here. And not even in, like, a G1 style. I suppose kind of like a G1 style. She's got eye spacing of, like, G1 alumni Lagunas, which, you know, is fine, but then you look at the eye spacing on other G3 Lagunas. Now, I did do a partial repaint, but these are her original eyes at the very least. Okay, so we've gone up a size. Interesting. And she's got her old scales here, but in pixel form, so the color contrast is a little greater than it would normally be. She's got like a little gup on her forehead. I don't know what that is, like some dirt or something. And the lip is a nice color. I don't like the ribbons under the eyes. I wish they were at the corners out here. That would have looked just a little better. And these earrings are cute. Now this hair, as is standard for Buried Secrets, is polypropylene pulled back into a curled ponytail meant to look like a bun. It is not actually a bun. It's not the worst texture on this part, like it's kind of smooth, but the curled part is a little broomy. Overall, still cute. Happy to have her in the collection. Definitely getting a reroute because I'm not letting Laguna live with Polly in this household ever. Now, am I a bit biased in rerouting her probably immediately after this video? Yeah, probably. Is she also the only character that I consistently have Saran colors on hand for, though? Yeah, so there's a reason that she has priority over the other polypropylene-headed dolls in this household. Overall, outfit-wise, she is very cute. I like this little bustier top that she's got going on. I'm going to need to get a second one so I can have another one of these for restyles. But Buried Secrets is Buried Secrets. By and large, I'm only going to pick up them every, like, once in a while for here and there, like, oh, I want this specific character. So don't expect a full line coverage of them from me specifically. I know other people do that. I personally will not be doing that. Have a little bit of desire to get Twyla and maybe Claudine from this series, but Laguna was really the girl that I was hoping for, and I got her first try, so the little sidewall trick does work. Now, that is all the time I have for this video. Closing thoughts, there is a lot of stuff coming out for Monster High Generation 3, and it will be going strong into 2026 because we've already seen so many leaks for next year, and I look forward to those dolls as well. Now, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all in the next video. This has been a little bit of a long one, but until next time, bye-bye! Time to go decapitate her and give her new hair. Bye.